Twitter because you got to pay now if you want to live stream. So at least they don't went down on the price a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna give it a second for everybody to kind of start coming in. We got the algorithm kind of hitting. It's moving slowly, but as long and you know what? Let me make sure I'm being heard okay on the other side here. Make sure I ain't got no technical difficulties going on. View the channel. There we go. It's moving slow. I had to hook everything else back up. So it's been a minute, man. So yeah, we're going to start getting into facts. However long this thing takes. I don't y'all know me, I don't take forever. I just start going on and if it's three people in here, well, we're just gonna get into the facts. And eventually people start showing up. From there, I'll just start reiterating whatever the hell from there. Let me move this over here so we have it like that. And we're going to come down here with it like this. Now, we're going to be using this document just to kind of explain what we're talking about today. We're talking about how the Cherokees were used against the Yamasees early 1700s. Okay. And we're going to look and see what's up, Cherokee. I just said Cherokees too. How the Cherokees were used, and don't take any offense to anything I say about what's going on, no matter what you got in your tribe, because I got some Cherokee in my tribe. I mean, in my ancestry, and I don't have any Yamasee that I know of. Possibly some Seminole, which would be Yamasee. So would likely be Yamasee. It could be something other. I have to look a little further. But yeah, like as we go into this, we're gonna find out some people were traders. Now that was traders at the time, right? And back then, who knew what the weather was like in the world? You know what I mean? So I don't call them traders per se for that time. I don't look at like it, I don't think that our ancestors knew the full scope of what was going on and what was happening to them as it was happening. You know, a lot of this stuff was a lot of trickery, deceit, winning over people. As you can see, our people were known as kings and Cherokee and emperors. Now, think about that. The emperor of the Cherokees. Now, this is written 1745. He says, same, no offense taken, just gratitude for the truth. Exactly. What's up, Wall? The Wall in the building. Yeah, it's up. It's just about the truth. What's up, CR the Great? The great in the building. Yeah, it's just about learning what happened so that way we can figure out how not to get caught up in that shit and these kind of tricks, these kinds of tricks that these folks have been playing on us. That's really what it is. It's all good, man. Now while I'm back, finally got some time. As y'all know, I was working hard on the documentary. And now, to be honest, I'm working on the Geechee documentary. Brother, see y'all. Yeah, I'm working on the Geechee documentary, and that's what made me find this information. So, just to kind of give you an idea of my mindset, I was like, okay, I know XYZ, Wale, I know some of the tribes, Yamasees down there, Kusabos, Temuquas, blah, blah, blah. But I was like, you know what? Let me pull up a map, which I'm gonna show y'all that map. I'm gonna just talk right here, kind of give y'all my ideas. Let me pull up the actual map I had saved because I was going through my old receipt, not old, but a lot of my receipts that I got saved in the Geechee, my Geechee folder. And I saw this map. Where the hell is that map? There it goes. This map. So I saw this map. I said I'm ready for it. That's where I started my research. Appreciate that, Mogi. Yeah, man. The more we learn, the more it helps us piece together these puzzles, even in our own trees. So because even this, like as I'm reading this, a lot of these tribes, I'm gonna pull up one of the documents. A lot of these tribes came together to go to like Charlestown. Like they was like, oh, there was such and such Chickasaws here, the Cherokees was here, the Catawbas was here, the Shawnees was here. I was like, and they brought such and such. I was like, man, well, that makes sense because when you look at like this map, a lot of these tribes were in very similar proximity. And as you can see, they have a certain color code around them, which pretty much is supposed to denote their linguistic stocks. Like these people spoke what they call the Muskogean language, or it could be called different. You know, I'm just going off of this map. But to just kind of go in there, here we go. We got the trolls in here. We're just going off this map. We have the Wale and the Kusabo. But I was also looking above. I'm talking about Geechee now. So I was looking at the Catawba, the Whack-A-Mole, the Wateri and Santee, and the Shira. And I was like, okay. Now I know I've looked in the newspapers under the word Yamasee, went back old and read crazy. Got a lot of those receipts. I didn't do it for the word Wale or Kusaba, but I was like, something told me to just do it for the Catawba. You know what? I did it for the word Yuchi, and actually, because that was the other tribe too. But Yuchi doesn't show up in the newspapers for until like way later on times, more modern times. Which but you can find Yuchi in old books. So I don't want to make it seem like the Yuchi wasn't there. I find them in old books, but in the newspapers, not so much. But I started to want to look up Catawba. And so that is what got me on this journey. And like really, there's a lot of documents or newspapers about the Catawbas. I hadn't even touched but a few of them when I so here's my search right here, and we were searching. Why is it doing this? There we go. And I was searching for Catawba, and as you can see, I'm in the 1739 area right now, and I got there's the amount of documents, it's 4,000, 4 million matches for the words Catawba. Okay, and that's all around now. If I shorten this to be like, okay, I only want to look at newspapers between let me go back between 1739, which is what it shows the earliest, and let's say 1870, something like that, whatever. That's still a lot of matches. There's still a lot of matches. Okay. So that's a lot of reading and looking through. I can never look through those. Whereas let's look at some differences. Another one I was looking at was Geechee, because that's what I was gonna say, because this is about the Geechee documentary that I'm about to do, right? What else, Cypherborn? It's about the Geechee documentary that I'm about to be on, right? So I typed in the word Geechee. Notice how Geechee, in between the years of 1739 to 1872, it's very little you can find. Not that people aren't Geechees. That's telling me, and I've already known this, people didn't call themselves Geechee. And I already knew this. People didn't start calling it, like, you don't really see the term Geechee being used until like the mid 1800s ish in the newspapers. And in books, not much at all either. So you have to go look for what the tribes were, because Geechee is by the Ogeechee River. In my opinion, that's kind of like saying these people are Creek Indians living by the creek, right? A creek, a river. Ogeechee is another river. There's like, well, these ones living by the Ogeechee, right? I don't know how it exactly it happened to where the Geechees started being called Geechees, but I'm not taking that away from them, because they do call themselves Geechee, and they have for a long time. Now, Gullah is not what they've been calling themselves for a long time. That's a whole nother story and a whole nother can of worms we're gonna get into. What's up, Lola? A whole nother can of worms that we're gonna get into. But Geechee, as you can see, just looking at it in the newspaper, though, you ain't gonna find much compared to Catawba, which had a lot. Now, I also looked up, let's say, like Yamasee. I've already been through that. It's not a lot for Yamasee either. Uh, Let me spell it with Yamasee with two S's. Some more if you spell it with two S's. As you can see, they kind of mix it up. But it's still not nowhere near as what you're seeing with the Catawbas. Now, granted, I will say that the Catawbas, the Whack-A-Mole, and all of them, they're a little bit north of where most people call themselves Geechee are. These Kusabos, Yamasee, Wale, Temuquas, this and more southern in between the Savannah River. I believe that's this river coming across here. Between the Savannah River and St. Augustine, Florida. Why'd they go off? This thing is finicky. Between that and St. Augustine, Florida is where they're at. But the reason why looked at the Catawbas and other things is because they used to be up north a little bit back before they got kind of moved down through a lot of the when the Cherokees and them started being used against them. So we're gonna get into that. Said that's what it was based off the Angola ancestry, which they have said they claim Gola is Gola. Yeah, that's what they say. Gola. What the hell is up with my? Let me hold on. Let me undo this. Finicky ass USB motherfucking shit. Hold up. Damn. Kind of got to take it out the case and put it on directly. Maybe that might help. All right, quit playing with me. Hold up. Let me. There we go. Here we go. Goddamn. Okay. So yeah, and we might even get into that the whole Gola Gullah thing. Technically, it is where the word Gullah came from. Um Sorry, which really denoted the Angola area. But now they're trying to say it's a Gola tribe out of freaking Liberia. And that's a whole can of worms there. But we definitely gonna hit on some stuff. What's up, BCU Carrie? So okay. So that's what made me get into this Catawba thing. So now we're about to get into the meat and potatoes of what we're really gonna be talking about. We got some folks up in here. Let's go to the actual document. So, you know what? Before we get to that, let me see if I can find that one to show y'all what I was talking about. Don't tell me I didn't. Here it is. I needed to. I need to always do this. What's up, Kick? Appreciate the love. Appreciate the gift, Kick. What's happening with you? Much appreciation. Appreciate that. Yeah. So let's talk about how some of these folks, how a lot of these people were in the area together during a certain time. Now let me give them a little marker out because I should have marked that shit earlier. But okay, we're gonna look right here. In this journey, whoops, hold up, let me make that a little thicker. That's what she said. In this journey, his excellency met with the king of the Catawba. So first of all, I put that in my folder under my "We Was Kings for Real" eventual documentary. That's gonna be another documentary one day. We was kings, bitch. That might be the title. We was kings, bitch. Not just playing, but we was kings. Okay, and this isn't the only place I've seen it. I've been storing different documents that I find every time they refer to us as kings, and this is a 1700s times they referring to us as kings. I have times in the not 19. Is that 1900? It might even be the damn. No, it might be mid to or probably late 1800s, if not early 1900s. I could pull it up after this, but where they still refer to us as kings, and I'm talking about Oklahoma. Pero Bruner was known as king of Canadian Colored Town, Oklahoma. It was a town called Canadian Colored Town, and Pero Bruner was known as the king. And then you also had troll ass cornbread folk who was King Blue, right? We was kings from goddamn 1700 early to goddamn 1900. You still referred to us as that. Now you don't want us to remember that? Okay. All right. Let me see what y'all was saying. What's up, Monet? Good to see you. You she said, who said that? Let's see if I'm missing anybody, man. Folks is coming up in here. Liberia, the first return to Africa project. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what's even more so sinister about it. You said we was kings and all that bags of chips. Hell yeah. He said cornballs. Exact right. So and his folks is some cornballs, especially all his folks in history. But okay, so you got the king of the Catawbas here, right? And about 110 of his 100 of his headmen and warriors. So you had 100 Catawba there with the king. Then you have the word switches. It switches. It says by the emperor of the whoops of the Cherokees and about 70 of his headmen. Now you know I'm asking the question. Why is he an emperor and he's a king? And I'm still you know what? I actually did a little bit of we'll do it right now. I did a little bit of etymology. A little bit of etymology. Now, what is a emperor? Because now I gotta ask the question. You know, you just thinking the words are just kind of simultaneous, you know, can be simultaneous. I mean, not simultaneously. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But emperor, okay, let's figure out the difference. A sovereign ruler of an empire. Okay. Says an emperor, leader, ruler, commander, emperor, from past participle, whatever. The Latin word of the title conferred to the Roman army of a successful general later by the Senate on Julius and August, whatever, blah blah blah. In Europe in the Middle Ages, a ruler of China, Japan, English original, blah blah blah, of the Roman emperors, Holy Roman emperors. So which kind of emperor was? I wonder which kind of emperor was the Cherokee here, right? What kind of emperor was he? Now we could now it's a person, a sovereign ruler. Now let's look up king. What's the difference? Because I'll show you what the difference is when I get there. I don't want to spoil it. So what's the difference between a king? A late old English contraction, I'm sorry, of sinning or whatever, king, ruler, from Proto-Germanic, whatever, whatever. We'll go down here. This is of uncertain origin. I'm trying to highlight it. This is of uncertain origin. It is possibly related to Old English sin, family, race, see kin, like kin folks. King, right? I guess that's what they're saying. That's what it started. I was like, oh, kin, like our son, like some folks, right? Making a king originally a leader of the people, or perhaps it is related prehistoric Germanic word meaning noble birth. Noble birth. Now that struck with me because nobles, I'll show you. Might as well show you. I can come back to this. Nobles. Let me see. That's this, but let me see. I'm gonna find the right one though. I'm looking for. You know what? Son. I'll put the other word in there. Hold up. Sons. Here we go. All right. Now this is the book about. It's called whatever the hell it's called. You know what it's called. I'm drawing blank. Researches antiquarian and some of the Aboriginal American Indians, whatever, whatever. You know that long ass title, right? Now, uh, here we got it says the chiefs were unfounded, duly descendants of nobles. Hold on, the great great sons. I want to find where it says the hierarchies. Nobles was one of the hierarchies. Great son. It might be on the other page. Hold up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Was divided. Here. Okay. Here we go. So in this book, now we're talking about the Florida nations right here. We're talking about the Florida nations. Okay. Coming down here. The most detailed account of their form of government we learn from Dupratz. Dupratz is a person that came, like a voyager or whoever that came, and he wrote a book. I got that book called The History of Louisiana. Okay. The History of Louisiana. Let me highlight that a little bit different. History of Louisiana. Now he says in various parts of his works, he informs us that the Indians of the Natchez. Now, if I go back to that map, I don't want to skip around too much. I wish I could open up multiple like photo prop apps at the same time. That's what they should allow you to do. Open the photo at multiple, but I guess that'll be confusing. But they're not gonna open up multiple photos without having to exit out of this photo and blah blah blah. Right? But okay, so he informs us that the nation of the Natchez, which is the same area, Florida, so-called Geechee area. Well, this is further. This is more further away from the coast. This is more like what you would call Mississippi, Louisiana, somewhat today, but still, right? Was divided into what was they divided into? Nobles, nobles, and common people. Okay, which last by their arrogance, not peculiar to a savage nobility, were called stinkers. So you have four different things because I didn't read above where they talk about the sons, but you have your top class, which are the sons. If you're born of that class, you are a top class. You know what I'm saying? Now this is matriarchal, so the men go down a peg when they get born. The women continue their rank no matter what. The men go from sons down to the next ranks, nobles, sons, nobles, men of rank, and then low class or stinkers is what they put down here. So let's go back to what this said. uh Noble birth. A king is of noble birth. Now, an emperor did not say anything about being birthed to be an emperor. That's what I'm getting you to, because that was my thing. What's You have a king of the Catawbas, which means he was a son or a person that birthed into his position for the Catawbas, and then you have an emperor of the Cherokees, which means he was possibly elected. He was possibly put there for whatever reason. Okay, that's what I wanted to get y'all to. Let's get out of that shit. Let's go back to the actual document here real quick. Discard the changes. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come back down. And on this map, it's not over here. It's on that other map. I had to bring it up. So okay, let's go back. Let's go back. And now, just looking at this again, so the Catawba King of the Catawbas is meeting His Excellency. Who is His Excellency? It's at the top of this, but whoever, I think it's King George. I think it's King George at this time, of England, if I'm not mistaken. But who was there? You got the King of the Catawbas, you got the Emperor of the Cherokees and his headmen, by the headmen of the Creeks. So the Creeks are there, okay, and by the Squirrel King. We got another king, okay, and most of the people of the lower Chickasaws. Okay, so you got the Chickasaws there, the Creeks is here, the Cherokees is here, the Catawbas is here, the kings are there, the emperors are there. Okay, and a Squirrel King and a damn whatever, whatever. All right, let me see what y'all got going on over here down here. It says makes sense. Can't have a Cherokee princess without the king. Oh yeah, they did call people Cherokee princesses. I forgot about that. Said military versus ruler. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that one. That's a good point. Research is philosophical. Yeah, there you go. That's the other word. Research is philosophical, educated, connected, concerning the Aboriginal, blah 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 blah. All right. So we're gonna get out of this. Now I'm gonna show y'all. Now that was just a little side story. Now we're gonna get to the main story for those who are just coming in. 1745 is when we're talking about this. You're still talking about the emperors and kings over here, but we're gonna get into some things about this. Now the Cherokees. Now I'm gonna show you what we're gonna be comparing, not comparing it, but what am I trying to say? What document we're gonna be, I don't know, whatever, putting together with it. I guess I'm too high right now. So This one right here, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 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 yes. Yep, yeah. What year is this? Let me see. Let me find where this is in my what you call it, so I can show y'all exactly what it is. Showing off photos. Come on now. I might have it saved in a different one. Hmm. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Hold on. Records of the British Public Office. I could probably do this. I can do this right here. That's not what I wanted to do. But what we're gonna find in here is corruption. We're gonna find corruption. God damn it. All right, whatever. Records, British Public Office. Records in the British Public Records Office. Records in the British Public Office. Records off. Records in the British Public Office. Records Office. Let me do it like that. Because I want y'all to see what this is. Records. Records in the British Office. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. And look at the time. Look at the time relating to South Carolina. So I'm gonna show y'all what's in one of these to show y'all what I be reading through. I haven't read. I look. I couldn't. I wouldn't even have time to read through all this. Now these are records in the British Public Office relating to South Carolina. This is 1775. Now, what year is the document we actually looking at? If I can get to it. 1745. And I'm glad I looked at this because I didn't look at it earlier. But I wanted to see was this before or after what I read in the British Public Office? Because now it's really gonna hit hard, okay? Because what you read in these British Public Office records, and just so you can see, these are handwritten documents all throughout, letters sent back and forth all throughout. Now, I was looking at one that we're gonna see. Actually, you know what? Let's look at that first. Then we'll get to the before. So let's look at what happens uh in 1775, like it was showing. Oh, well, let me see. Let me see what year this is. I think it was around that year. Let's look at that first, and then we'll go back because it's not that much. Not for sure which year. It's about that year because I done cut off the damn, and I hate when I cut off the damn top part. Okay, now let's read this. Let's read this. This is how you catch people in their bullshit right here. The North, why did it do that? The Northern Indians have not since appeared against me, and we are in hopes the Cherokee will be our friends. Keep that in mind. We have no news of the two Indians formerly sent up to them. Oh, I'm telling you, because it's really, as I was reading those newspapers, they was talking about there was a King George, if I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't King George, it was somebody. No, it was the governor of Philadelphia. I take that back. It was the governor of Philadelphia at the time, and he was talking about sending somebody up to the Shawnee Indians. To He was like, I'm gonna send some folks up there to persuade them to move away from their land. Who the hell you sending, and why do they gotta persuade? And what kind of persuading is we talking about? Trickery persuading, or you paying them, or you trying to, why? And how come you ain't going? Who you sending over there? Another Indian? You done schmoozed up too. Okay, let's keep going. But it says, send up to them, haven't something something Wiggin, and another Indian trader, somebody's name, LK L group, something Wiggin, and another Indian trader have undertaken with two Indians more to go to the Cherokees with due sign to persuade them to go. Okay, hold on. Let me read that part again because this is in my head. I was thinking maybe this ain't the one, and I was thinking maybe I need to go get the one out of my phone. That's what I was reading off. But okay, I see it's coming. Okay, that's what she said. But have undertaken with two Indians more to go to the Cherokee with with design to persuade them to be for us, to be for us, and fall upon the Uchis. So the Uchis was still called the Uchis early times in handwritten documents. The Appalachians and who? The Yamasees. We want to see if we can get the Cherokee, persuade them to fall upon the Uchis, Appalachians, and the Yamasee, hoping they would be their friend. What the hell was that? Hold on. Something fell. All right. And I'm gonna see what y'all saying here in a second. I'm cooking. So it says they undertook this dangerous voyage upon promise of 500 something. They undertook this dangerous voyage upon promise of 500 each if they effect the business, and were paid 50 to something to 50 whatever a piece. We'll just say dollars because it's got some other little symbol. $50 a piece. The success man of war, the success man of war is arrived with 500 arms, and since the above 30 men more are arrived from Virginia, about 80 whites and 60 Indians. They never fight alone. Okay? Let's get this point straight. What's up, Nikki? I see you out there. Good to see you. You know, I was gonna hit you up and let you know I was going live. My bad. I should have hit you up. But what we see here is just this part right here. They never fight alone. The army today probably has this same ratio. They say the army today has about a third of us is in there, if not more than a third of us. Make up the army. This is about somewhat of a ratio. You know what I'm saying? They never fight alone. They put PUSSY. You know what I'm saying? Say yes, please text me. I got you. I definitely will. What's up, Joy? And I'm gonna look down here and see who all done showed up since I done been here. We're gonna go through it, but I haven't been on too long. Let me see what y'all got going on down here real quick. Let's see. Okay, I ain't too bad behind. It's a agents. These people definitely agents. Definitely agents. Okay, so I ain't really missed much. Y'all just listening to the cook up. What's up, Jen Jen? So let's get back to the cook up. Okay, so from the north, from North Carolina, 60 and 80, whatever, from North Carolina, you got some people coming from Virginia. Think about this. This is who all they getting to try to come against the Uchis, Appalachians, and the Yamasees. They gotta get a lot of folks, okay? Because these were some powerful folks. Let's see. Oh, I gotta read this down here. Hold on. Because let's see if we can put it in context. Because I didn't read this whole bottom part, which is wild. It says from North Carolina. We'll do this. From North Carolina, we something have the assembly sitting and an act is passed for payment of the forces that are to be raised, and those arrive from Virginia and North Carolina. There is to be lieutenant governor, or no, lieutenant general and colonel, lieutenant colonel, and majors. Something for whites for white inhabitants to be raised to be commanded by captain of, yeah, I can't see that one right there, captain of something. And look at this, 400 Negroes likewise to be divided into companies of, what is that S word? I don't know. Commanded each day by a captain and lieutenant. Who are the Negroes? 1775 being used and divided up into these companies in order to help them go against some Indians as well. Because isn't the story that the Negroes went to join these Indians and they mingled all together and, you know, did the hokey pokey and do, turn yourself around type of fuckery? You know what I'm saying? Ain't that the story? But who are these Negroes? Now, at first glance, you would say they must be Africans. I don't say that. Now, for those who have been following me for some time, now this is 17 around the 1770s. For those who have followed me for some time, y'all are always going to remember this document that I'm about to show. This one right here. Let me find where it's at with the date on it. 1743. Okay. In 1743, they were also talking about Negroes and Indians. Now, let's look at this though. 1743. Now, this is well before, this is about 30 years before this document, depending on the exact date of this document. And that's not the exact document, but let me just make sure the British Public Office didn't have records that go before 1740s real quick. 17. Well, I gotta try to find the document because it could. I gotta double check the year on it now because these British public record documents go between the early 1700s to the late, almost late, 70 late 70s. It looks like it's where it stops. So I gotta go double check where the hell I got which one I got it in. My dumb ass done cut off the bottom. But regardless, around this time, and I think this would be likely before, they were talking about putting the Negroes and Indians in the schools together, and they were talking about hiring, right? It says hiring or purchasing, which is hiring in that blue area. But let me just do this for you. By, I'll do it like this: purchasing some country born Negroes. Y'all remember that? They said they're going to purchase them some country born Negroes to do what? To teach the Bible and propagate that, do mission work amongst the Indians. Now, these ain't no Africans. Who out here teaching Africans evangelical or whatever you call this shit? You know what I'm saying? The Christian ways. They ain't, they somewhat Christian now. The way they Christian now is completely different. They over there falling all on the floor on a white tee Jesus and crying and shit, doing all kind of weird shit. And there's this dude that be like, oh, hold on, let me. Okay, okay. I gotta stay on this. Oh, you know what? Hold on, y'all. What's up? I gotta say what's up to the people in the YouTube world, and I done forgot Y'all know I be forgetting to look over there because I be having to keep the other one up. Man, my bad, man. Y'all know I love y'all, man. What's up, Chief of Jonesy? What's up, PC? PC Club or P something like that. PC Club Network. Frank Thoughts was happening. Aquila I was happening. And Key Nicole says, my Geechee family is still in Santee. Thank you for the info. Very much appreciate it. Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, I definitely see Santee Island a lot. And Santee, if I'm not mistaken, was the name of an Indian tribe. Uh so yeah. We in this thing. We're in this thing. Let me get back over here so that way I don't miss the little TikTok puzzle piece when they come up. Says I don't think it's not different from what was taught to us in church. I'm talking about what they doing to them over there in Africa. Yeah, they just deal with it differently. Like we definitely indoctrinated over here in the churches, you know what I'm saying? And we definitely our people have a lot of a lot of that going on. But just go look at them African churches, man. It's a whole different ball game. You had this one dude. Now, don't get me wrong. Our pastors is our pastors ain't worth the goddamn either. But you got this one dude, man. He was what? Oh, he was standing in like a barrel, naked of water, and he bathed himself in the water, and then he took and everybody got up, came up there, got cups of water of his bath water, and you just had to sit there and wonder, like, why would you do that? No amount of indoctrination. I don't give a damn how old I am, how young I am. If my mom smacked me in the head and said, "Boy, you better go over there and get you a cup," she'd have had to beat me black and blue, beat me black and blue, because it wouldn't have went down that way. You know what I'm saying? Said the Holy Ghost aspect. So yeah. So let's get to this. So again, the Negroes and the Indians were put together still before. So just think about the trickery that's going on. You have country born Negroes being utilized against us because they are likely Moors from Europe, okay, not African Moors. I don't really fully believe all Moors are African, but I don't know. I ain't really looked into it. I don't want to believe it, I guess. I don't want to believe it. Um but at some point there was a Mauritania that happens, and there becomes some Moors. But these particular Moors, I don't know. I just don't see them being African. But they would use them against us. So they come over here, they look like you, you know what I mean? And it's like, what else? What other reason would they be putting them together for if they didn't look alike to some degree, right? But and that's why a lot of us, some of us, I don't want to say it like that. Some people have European ancestry that's that's been kind of whitewashed over time. So let's get back to the document. Now this is going to allow us to go ahead and start moving forward into the document. Why did it do that? I hate. I just don't like some of the when they do these updates and they got these hidden things that you can hidden screens, whatever. Okay. So just to reiterate, y'all, what we're talking about is the Cherokee being friends and being used against the Uchis, Appalachians, and the Yamasee at a certain time. Now it says here that they was hoping that they can become their friends. Now, this might be very close to the newspaper article I'm about to show you that I read today, as far as in timing. But again, we're going to get to it. Now, this is 1745. We're in South Carolina, okay? The South Carolina Gazette, all right? Containing the freshest advices, foreign and domestic, all right? So let's go to this. Let me get my little pointer out here. We're talking about the emperor, the emperor of the Cherokees with most of the headmen of the nation. That's a little thick. That's what she said. With the most of the headmen of the nation and many of the principal warriors and others. So the numbers of the 100 was about 130 and arrived in town, and the same time the king of the Catawbas about with 18 of the headmen of the nation. So that's who's here at the nation in Charlestown. We're in Charlestown right now. Now this is 1745, Charlestown. Now I want you. I got to show y'all this real quick. This would be early inception of Charlestown. Early inception of Charlestown. It's in my Geechee folder, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here we go. Early. Now, there's a Charles. I want to show you where it was Charles Fort real quick. Not there. If I can find the right one. There's Chikora. Oh, it might be in my Chikora folder. I forgot I had a Chikora folder. I'm gonna have to put all that shit in the Geechee folder. Yep. Now, let me give him a little pointer out. Charles Fort. Okay. Now that's Charles Fort before it becomes Charlestown. Okay. And Chikora right here is the name of, used to be the name of the area before they started putting this Charles ton stuff. Now this is 1591. So this is pretty early. This is pretty early. You don't really see Charlestown start to become Charlestown. I know I have a map. It might be here in this Chikora folder. I think this is it. No, that's Chikora, Appalachia. There's one map in particular I have that has the dotted outline of it. It might be in my Geechee folder. It's in one of these damn folders. One of these. Here we go. Here we go. Right there. You see where Carolina? Let me get your little what you call it. And we'll see if the year is on here. The year may or may not be on here. There's a dotted line. There's a dotted line going around Carolina right there. Now, Carolina was just being formed into Carolina as well. Uh this date is, I'm not 100% sure. It's an old ass map. It's later than that 1591 map. But either way, I just wanted to show y'all that these things are just not getting formulated. Okay. We have an idea, but the Indians are now coming there from different tribes. No, the Cherokee. This one's only talking about the Cherokee and Catawba right now. If I'm not mistaken, they might talk about the what you call it. Now I'm gonna go down. Let's say the Cherokees. Well, let's see. The Cherokees had not been in this province for some years, and has sent some months ago to the governor to acquaint him that they intended to visit him to renew their ancient friendship with this government and to get commissions. Okay. They were received with great ceremony and civility, and after seeing everything in the place, they were sent on board His Majesty's ship. Whoops. His Majesty's ship. The whatever name of the ship, that's the name of the ship. Commanded by Captain Abby, whatever. And then to Fort, whatever. I can't read that word. And it says, and having received large presents, let me do a different one right there. Having received large presents, okay, given to them, given to them by the public, and likewise by His Excellency, the person he just went on the ship with, they just went on the ship with, They sat out on Saturday last on their return to their own country, highly pleased and satisfied with their kind treatment. Oh, buddy up to the motherfucker YT folks, huh? Or the melanated whoever the hell it was, right? It says at their first conference with the governor of the council in the council chamber, in the presence of the council, most of the members of the assembly and man of the inhabitants, whatever, his excellency told them that he was glad to see them and was ready to hear what they had to say. But the emperor, addressing himself to the governor, said, "You, sir, let's see, you, sir, are our eldest brother, upon which his excellency spoke as follows. He said, so they said to him, you sir are our eldest brother, the Cherokees and Choctaw and them, okay? So they acting like they're brothers now, okay? They done got large presents. They done went on these nigga ship, had a little party, got large presents and gifts, and they're like, oh, you my brother. Yeah, I can trust you. You done gave a nigga things. Sellouts at that time. At that time. Some of them my folks, right? In the name of the great king, in the name of the great King George, our supreme head and sovereign, in name of all white people of Carolina, I bid you, Emperor of the Cherokees, and you, King of the Catawbas, heartily welcome to Charlestown. So it was the great king. King George literally is greeting the king of the Cherokees and the emperor of the Cherokees and the king of the Catawbas into Charlestown. It says here, and those your beloved men, your grave counselors and brave warriors, men truly wise, valiant, whatever, likewise welcome. Just welcome everybody, right? Now, probably not much said here. I'm probably going to jump forward about, but I'll say this because they do say, you are came to strengthen and confirm the ancient friendship. Can't be that ancient. I mean, if it's ancient, this is 1745. I mean, you really got to wonder, like, what the hell does ancient mean to them? You know what I mean? But I'm also wondering, like, at this time, is there a remembrance of a relationship between our people in Europe? Is there a remembrance of that, or is that what they mean, the ancient friendship? That's something I'm gonna have to like keep looking into if I can find much about it. But or is he just talking about this is 1745 and he's talking about maybe 100 years ago in 1645? It can't be that long because they wasn't really flying in the goddamn South Carolina. And I'm talking now the Spanish was, but as far as the English and shit, maybe, possibly. But okay, let's keep going. But they have an ancient friendship and they're here to strengthen that. And the union that was made by your forefathers with this government. So their forefathers made some union with their government, apparently. That's what they're going by. And at its singular pleasure, and it is a singular pleasure to me to see you tread in the steps to find what you pursue the same path of virtue with your renowned ancestors, and that your adherence to the fidelity of the government is steady, whatever is there. Okay, we're gonna move forward a little bit and go to the places where I started saying it's a little juicy right here. That's what she said. Messages, blah blah blah. All right. Right here. May the good correspondence that the I really wanted to say that's what she said right there, but I'm sorry. That may the good correspondence when I say it right here, but may the good correspondence that at present subsist betwixt this government and the Cherokee and the Catawba nations always continue. May the chain of friendship by which we are linked together be ever bright and clear, like the sun in the meridian splendor, without spots in cloudy. I mean, they being extra with it right now, right? May it remain firm, fixed, and immovable, like your native mountains. Yeah, they're going a little extra right here. When I was reading this, I was like, all right, man. And in order thereto, I shall give immediate direction and commissions under the great seal of the province to you, sir, the emperor of the Cherokees, and to you, the king of the Catawbas, requiring all your people to obey you as their rulers. These offices belong to you by birth. These offices belong to you by birth. At least the king. Now the emperor, that's a whole nother story. But maybe the emperor was elected and he was also something by birth. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. But when we looked at the emperor, etymologically, it didn't say anything about a birth. But regardless, they know this. They know that these people by birth have these positions. Okay. Let's just keep that in mind. You likewise hold them by a better tenure the desires and wishes of a willful people, and lastly, they will be continued to you or something to you by the commission which I shall give you. Now we're going to go down here a little further. King George, they're talking about somebody King George, but whatever. He is indeed a very powerful prince. They're talking about King George, and a mighty monarch. He rules over great and flourishing kingdoms. Talking about King George up here. He rules over a great many kingdoms, over many fair and fertile countries. His subjects are rich and wealthy, strong and mighty, and numerous as the stars of the heavens, as the trees in thick of your woods, or as the leaves of the trees. It sounds to me like he's trying to sell them a story. Because did these YT folks really have money like that? Did they really come over here with a lot? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Did the first Europeans, period, whether they were YT or melanated, did they really have a whole lot like that? I was wondering, is he trying to just sell him a story? Man, we got a lot of folks out here, man. They wealthy, strong. They gonna help you out. They gonna give you this bread. We got them gifts. You know what I'm saying? We just need you to do some things for us. That's it. They laying it on kind of thick to me. That's what she said. But rejoice therefore. We're gonna go down a little bit further. Rejoice therefore. Rejoice. It always hits me later. Rejoice therefore, ye Cherokees and Catawba nations, and join your joy with the white tea people of Carolina, that we are the subjects of such a prince, one of such good and delightful people, and of his own people, the dread of his enemies, and stay support the stinking states, whatever. Now, notice this right here. The Spaniards, we see something here, with whom we have been at war for some years. So the first thing I know to use this for in the Yamasee story, because the Yamasees was cool with the Spaniards at one point. Okay. Sometimes they would raid the Spaniards. I gotta go back and just triple check. I think sometimes they would raid the Spaniards, but sometimes they got cool with the Spaniards and they be going. It was a mixed thing, but I gotta double check that. But either way, it starts to show you the types of separation, because the Spaniards were down there, and I believe the Yamasee was cool with them, and several other tribes down there was cool with the Spaniards. So when you have the English come in and they don't like the Spaniards, they gonna want to fight the Spaniards, but who they gonna want to fight with? Not themselves. They gonna try to get buddy with some more Indians, some other Indians. Now you start to see a possible divide between Indian tribes just on the coast, just based off of certain YT folks who's being cool to who at the time. Oh, they up here giving Cherokees and Catawbas the world. You know what I'm saying? Giving them all kind of presents and gifts and white holes. You know, I just playing. Well, they didn't say that part, but you know they doing it. You know what I'm saying? Or melanated ones. You know what I'm saying? They giving them whatever they got. You know, giving real buddy because they know down below there's a bunch of tribes too that are getting buddy with them, with the Spaniards and the people they don't like. And when it's time to go against, the whole story right now is the Yamasees are gonna be as we saw in the last document, that the Yamasees, Appalachians, and the Uchis were all being put against the Cherokees, or the Cherokees were being put against them, I should say, were being used, right? The Catawba also, as we see here. And it's these clues, you know, because in that letter, it didn't say anything about the Spaniards, right? In the letter, it just says we need to get these Cherokees to go against the Uchis, the Yamasees, and the whatchamacallits. But the Spaniards are down there too. And that's who they at war with. But they use them tribes against each other. Now it says, are now sensible of this, the French against whom we have lately declared war will soon feel their cause. We also got the French. They don't like them either. But they getting buddy with their Indians, just like the French was buddy with certain Indians too. All right. Now let's look at what it says right here. But as we are at war with both these nations, the Spanish and the French, and as our enemies are your enemies, you see where they going? They done gave you presents now, nigga. What you think that was free? You think we just givey out here? No. We paying for something. Yeah, we paying for something. They paying for something, okay? But as we are at war with both these nations, my bad. But as we are at war with these nations, and as our enemies are your enemies, I expect that whenever I send for you, you will come at my call against the common enemy. And likewise, whoops. Now notice, first of all, I want you to say, in this one, they just said they're enemies with the Spaniards and the French. They didn't say they was enemies with any Indians so far on this document. Much love for the gift. Thank you, Monet. Appreciate that. I just happened to look at the screen. If I missed any other gifts, appreciate y'all. I'm gonna throw some thank yous out here in a second. But whoops, hold on. Let me do the little puzzle piece. We've detected no activity. I don't know how. There's a whole camera going, all kind of equipment. You know how much activity is going on right now? I got 3 lights, an iPad, a MacBook, a microphone, all this shit, all these little connections and shit. You can't detect none of this TikTok. Okay. But okay. So again, what I want you to say, remember, is that in this document, it ain't saying nothing about them going against the Indians. It was the letter sent talking about, hey, we need to get these Cherokees against these Indians. But that was letters sent talking on the back end, right? But on the front end, hey man, we got gifts for you. Help your boy out. You know what I'm saying? We just going against the Spaniards and the French. You know what I'm saying? We just trying to go against them. Now, you know, there might be some. Let's keep going on before I say it. It says it right here. And likewise, whoops. And likewise, that you will not suffer any agents or something resuffice from therein, either French or Indian. Let me read that again. You will all come to my call against the common enemy, and likewise that you will not suffer any agents or resuffices or something from therein, either French or Indian, to come among you to withdraw you from your duty and to alienate your hearts from this government. Basically, you will not suffer any agents, or I don't know what that R word is. From there, you will not suffer. You will not allow these people to come talk you out of our relationship, the relationship you made with our government. Government. Remember, we done gave you gifts and presents, right? So this is so our enemies, your enemies. If they come up here trying to talk you out of this, the French or the Indians, now they done tossed that in there. Okay, you got to go against us, but that you will apprehend them and deliver them to our traitors to be sent to me. If they try to talk you out of this, anybody coming to you try to tell you we ain't no good people, send them to me. Okay. King George. I shall give direction that the traitors that may be sent to you be such as love your nation, or be sent to you, be such as love your nation. It's weird how they say that. Men of honesty and probity or something like that, who will not overreach or impose upon you, and it shall, and if any shall do it upon your application to me, I will send others in their room. So basically what they're saying right here, I got the same damn color. Basically what they're saying right here, so he done basically, they done gave him gifts, schmoozed them all up, you know what I'm saying? And now they like, hey man, our people, our enemies are your enemies, and don't let them talk you out of it now, right? Now, right here, they're saying, hey, I'm gonna do some things for you. We're gonna send traders, not traitors, but traders, like people that trade goods. We're gonna make sure that they're good and they're not over there like doing you wrong and trying to up the price and do whatever shady stuff to you. And if they do, send them to me. That's what they're saying right there. And he says, and I shall give direction that they will be supplied with such good. They're gonna send. And if basically they said, because I didn't say the last part. If they find traders that are treating them bad, send them back. He's going to send them some new traders. And in this one, he's saying, I'll give direction that these new traders will be well supplied with such goods that are proper for your trade. And I recommend blah, blah, blah. And not too much really said there other than this last part. I have ordered presents to be made ready. Okay. I have ordered presents to be made ready. Okay. So here we have in the newspapers the precursor to a degree, or maybe not precursor, it could be around the same time, to the letter sent that I was showing about the Cherokees. Hell, what document? Oh, I was like, what folder was that shit in? Being used against the Yamasees, the Uchis, the Appalachies. Okay, but in here, they did not talk about the whole French Spanish thing, because their main goal is what I'm wanting to get you to. Their main goal is taking out the Indians. They don't give a fuck about the Spanish. That's just an excuse. They want a land grab, okay? And they need your help to do it, Mr. Indian. They need your help to do it because they weaklings. Plus, you got to think about it. They're landing on the coast. Indians are large in numbers, okay? You cannot beat them all. You're going to have to partner up with some of them in order to defeat others. And that's sad to say. You really shouldn't. In fact, it really should have went to where nobody partnered up with them motherfuckers when they got here. And they would have had to keep bringing people on the coast, and we'd keep smashing them out until there was none of them coming back over this way. That really is how it should have went. But we love and caring people. You know what I'm saying? When they showed up, we handed them cornbread, goddamn herbs and medicines and food and spices and furs and all this other stuff. And I get it, man. Just like walking into your grandma's place, she gonna give you some furs. She gonna give you a blanket. You cold, baby? We got a blanket for you. You hungry? We got. I can make some turkey sausage. my grandma, my granny, when she turkey sausage is way later in her life because there wasn't no goddamn turkey sausage around when I was a goddamn kid. But in my older years, she switched from regular sausage, Eskridge sausage is what she used to eat when I was a kid. But switched to that turkey sausage, that turkey bacon. I'm sorry, turkey bacon. But she would always cut up the little extra cubes on the cut up real finely the potatoes. Her and my papa. Eggs, potatoes, little really diced potatoes, and some motherfucking bacon or some sausage, extra sausage, and some biscuits. Them bullshit ass. What's that blue Pillsbury biscuits? Them old school ones. Yeah, like yeah. That look, I could fuck that up right now. I ain't even gonna lie. And some rice with some sugar. And I said that right. Rice with some sugar. I know some of y'all gonna hate it. Let me see what y'all saying down here. Let me see what y'all say. Let me come down. Hold on. Let me go up. Said, fam, I have a question whenever hold on. You said probably companies are 50. Fam, I DM you a question whenever free. Oh, you talking about Nikki, my bad. Uh Black enlisted numbers are so large they stop recruiting in fear of retaliation. That's that's crazy. That's crazy. I need to look into that. And that makes sense. Like they want us a bunch of us to fight for them, but you can't let too many fight because then they just take over. And then you're gonna really have a problem. Yeah, they wouldn't trust them with that mission. I forgot what I was talking about back then, but I'm pretty sure you're on point. Says I don't think it's not different from what was taught to us in church. Oh, I went way up, way up. Damn. The Holy Ghost. I don't went way up there. Wow, my neck of the woods. King Leone, whatever, said that. What up? Damn, not even a half a century. I know, right? What up, Mike P? I said, wow, you have such a nice, nice mountain. Did you hear when they was talking about the mountains? Ancient 16th century from before the Norman conquest. Say confirmed to you. Hell no. Read the Barbary Wars. I've been hearing some about the Barbary Wars. A whole bunch of diseases. Early 1900s. Said love you. Appreciate that, Monet. If you're talking to me, love you too. More activity. What's up, Amore? Good go. They're all Freemasons. Yes. Not the Sugar Sam. You said not the Sugar Sam. Oh yeah. I was like, what you mean? Ain't no sugar in me. Oh wait a minute. I did talk about sugar in my motherfucking rice. Yeah. I got to and butter. Hella sugar and butter on my rice. Okay. Now I eat rice the other way too. But in the mornings, oh yeah. Said not sugar. I had grits yesterday with visiting family. The grits with no sugar. I can't do it. It's gotta be butter and sugar in my grits. Y'all gonna hate me. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna hate me, man. Butter and sugar in my grits. And that little creamy wheat shit. Blame my granny and my papa, I guess. So yeah, so that was one of the main things I wanted to talk about today. Now, I kind of went on a we'll talk about it a little bit. There was something else I was gonna talk about though. I was looking at these tribes right here, and I was probably gonna go in about these tribes, these fake tribes. These are supposed to be your Chikora people, and I was on live stream either yesterday, or the day before, or something. And I think I did kind of talk about these Chikora people, but I still might. But it's just there's some videos on here, and I would really have to send the videos over. But they're gonna be part of a documentary in the Geechee documentary because here you have with the Geechee documentary, you got to talk about the whole area of South Carolina, South Carolina, Florida area, and North Carolina to a degree, but mostly, excuse me, mostly South Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, and in that same region is the area. It's not shown here. It's on the other map, but it was the Chicora right here. Chicora, like the Chicora Chronicle. Chicora was the original name of South Carolina. To tell you that somewhere up in here. Right here. The word Chicora has been bobbing in the whatever documents in South Carolina coast area generations, historical 1600, French and Spanish area. So notice the French and Spanish was both somewhat involved in this area, which is who King George didn't like, right? And try to put now King George was putting who did they have? King George had the Catawba. Now let's look at this. The Catawba and the Cherokee. That's who they used, which are north of South Carolina. Wait a minute. No, they're in South Carolina. I take that back. I take that back. South Carolina's right here. This is Georgia. That's Georgia. I was getting confused. So Catawba's there, in there, and but the Cherokees are a little north. So what they're doing is getting those tribes from up north to go against the tribes down south, Appalachia, Yamasee, Yuchi, okay, where the Spaniards were, okay, and they're using them against us. Now, this is literally north against south to a degree, which is also what we've said. Now, we've talked, now, this is way before some civil war, right? But it's been a thing in my head for some time that the North was the North Indians, some tribes that went and was buddy buddy with the YT folks or melanated Indians or melanated Europeans together or whoever, right? Depending on the time frame. And they were going against the heavy presence of us in the South. Uh, that's really been my thing for some time. And this kind of shows a micro version of that in a prior time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to be honest, I say micro, but these people were fighting back and forth for a long time. Like when the Yamasee, when the okay, so the time frame we're talking about right now, the Yamasee was right here. Eventually, the Yamasee have to go down south because of the wars of that around that time, and they start linking up with the tribes down there, and they start calling them Seminoles, but they didn't call themselves that. I don't know, that's a whole nother story. But they join in now with other tribes, and they're known as Seminoles. Okay. Um, why was I saying that? I was saying that because oh, I was saying that because the Seminoles fought these niggas all the way up until 1856. So just think, like, this is 1745. They're fighting these people, right? Eventually they gotta go south, but as King George and all of them have always wanted to go south, they had three separate Seminole wars. Okay. Let's go look at I should be I got the I should have the time frames on those. They had three separate Seminole wars. It's either going to say it here, 1700s, 1770s. So, okay. In the 1770s is when Florida Indians collectively became known as Seminole. Around this time frame, like I said, right? They start pushing down and they become Seminoles. Now they're the South, such and such is the North, right? Now, let me find the other receipt to give you the dates of those wars. What the hell, dude? I got another Yamasee folder. That's what it is. Um, I should just have a Yamasee folder. There it is. There it is. Goodness. By the time I get here, be done forgot what the hell I was looking for. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It's the one next to that. Damn it. Here we go. In 1817, they have conflicts first in 1817. So you just think 1770s, they go south. They don't have a first conflict mostly until 1817, somewhat. Run-ins with the settlers, and then you come down after the passage of the Indian Move Act of the 1830s. U.S. defeating troops. Said after defeating the U.S. the second Seminole War. Let me do it like this. The second Seminole War, okay, was around 1837. The last was in 1850 fucking 8. So what I'm saying is the North still never defeated the South. Okay. That's what I'm kind of getting to. Because the Civil War is what, 1860 to 1865? This is tail end right next to the Civil War time. You still hadn't pushed south that far. You had that whole time went and got the Cherokees and goddamn Catawbas to try to fuck with us. And next thing you know, we done went down and got cool with you had the Yamasees, you had the let us say it over here. It won't tell you all of them though. Pretty much erasure. But you have Seminoles include Yamasees, Uchis, Yamashis, and it just says some other sprinkled in Creeks. My bad. Creeks, but Creeks were Uchis and Shawnee and possibly some others. And then you got Yamasees. So all you did, we'll go back to that same map. All you did was just push the people down further, got a little closer to the Spanish, and then they had a stronghold. But just look at this. Now, this is the so-called distribution of slave population, but this is our so-called population and the density of it. Now, as you can see, looking at that coast, let me give him a little pointer. Looking at this coast, this is the same coast. It is heavily saturated. Man, I don't know. I don't know if y'all be seeing it, but I'll start a circle all of a sudden, or a line. It's been doing that ever since I got this fucking iPad. I'll start a circle and a line. All of a sudden, it'll shoot across the screen like that, and I didn't do that. And I'm just like, if y'all don't update this piece of shit, you know what I'm saying? I just got this particular iPad, so I don't know if it's something with the OS or if it's something with this particular iPad Air model. But I don't need that happening all the goddamn time when I'm trying to make a little whatever, a little mark. But basically, as you can see, this area has a heavy presence of who they call us slaves by 1860. But who are all these people? Where all these slaves come from? Now, even then, they said they had 400 Negroes and they was dividing them up in between folks. But that's not enough. That's not enough Negroes to get to this level, to be having this high density of people without those people being Indians, right? And those Negroes that we read likely would have been Negroes from Europe. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give y'all some kind of thing on that. And then I also wanted to show you, like, this is how they depicted us. As y'all know, they depicted us as kings and emperors. Now the whole turban, when they say emperor, like when I first heard emperor of the Cherokees, and to be honest, um, who is listed? Who is up here with a turban on his head? the YT Sequoia, whose name is George Guest, wearing a turban for the Cherokees as an emperor. They called him chief though by this time, but the turban. So the word emperor in my head did kind of ring right for the type of garb that a person would wear versus the king. Now, when you come to here, some of us were depicted with turbans. Okay, some of us were depicted with the turbans because some wanted to go under the term of emperor for whatever reason. Some wanted to go under the term of um, king. Either way, that's likely a king. Feathers like a feather crown. Okay, think about it like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there, but look at the pearls. Look at the pearls because we know that that's a very prominent thing. Blue, red, white, and amber. That's patriotic flag colors. The amber part is not, but they always talk about in the amber waves. What's that? That's the Oklahoma song. Never mind. But there's something to do with that amber color. But those are very much so colors that they would show us in. Here's another one: pearls, crown of feathers. You either have a crown of feathers with the pearls, or you're gonna have a turban. A turban, an emperor with pearl still. Okay, don't crown of feathers with pearls. Crown to a degree. Crown of feathers. Crown of feathers. Always niggas always had something. Well, they depicted us this way. I don't want to say we always had something on our heads because this is stuff like this that we didn't have stuff on our heads like that. But the way that they was depicting us a lot over there were like emperors and kings. And it starts to make sense. Now, my thing is this, and my bad, I'm gonna look down and see what y'all saying. My thing is this: where are the natives, Siberian, Filipino, Asian, Spaniard, YT, Alaskan, all of those? Where are their depictions of them with emperor turbans on their heads? You ain't gonna really see that much. You ain't gonna really see that. You know, you might see some turbans on some of those. If they came over from like Abu Dhabi, one of them like Middle East, Afghanistan or something, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but you don't really see that. Now you see it depicted with us. Now, let's see what I got going on. What's up, C3? Man, my eyes or my context, I should say. Yeah, Nikki said, "Yep, sugar rice and sugar grits." Bet we on the same page, Nikki. I knew somebody was out here, sweetening it up with like I was. You know what I'm saying? Said turban is African, but we did wrap our hair and put feathers in it. I'm curious about that one. I'm curious about that one. Nowhere to be found, even the Mexicans. Exactly, none of them. Exactly. In fact, I'm gonna be doing another. What up, crew? What? Say me too, sugar in the rice. I don't know. I can't say it's a southern thing. I don't know what it is. It's a country thing. I don't know because we were some country folks. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's what we was on. But yeah, like I can't wait to do also a documentary like when did these natives get here? Like and proving the earliest existence I can prove with them. And like when you go looking, like what people don't understand, like you can easily do this. Watch. National Indian. No, you gotta do it the way they say it. top national Native American museums. So what you do is you do it like that, right? It's gonna give you a list, right, of the top ones. And then you click on one of them, right? Click on one of them. This says AAA. Why the hell? Why the hell is AAA? They gonna tell you about roadside and tell you about Indian history? I mean, they're gonna help you out with your car on the road side, and then they're gonna tell you about Indian history. Like, what the hell? What the hell is AAA got to do with making any kind of articles about triple fucking A? Yes, I need help on the side of the road. My battery just went out. And can you tell me a little bit more about the Catawba Indians? Y'all niggas is weird. Okay, let's go down here. How are they one of the first things in the search results in the SEO? That's wild. All right, let's do this. 10 best USA best. Must see, whatever, whatever, whatever. So here's one, right? National Museum of the American Indian. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna copy it, paste it, right? That way you can find their website, right? And then when you're on their website, all of them usually have a virtual walkthrough. Usually. Let's see. Online exhibits. Oh, I guess I got to pick a location. Let's go to New York. Okay, no, this ain't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a National Museum of American Indian. Okay, yeah. Where is your walkthrough? Make me look like a damn, like I'm not telling the truth. Online exhibitions for families, American Indian collection search. I want a 360 walkthrough. I don't even want to just look at one exhibition, but let's see. Let me do this. Virtual. Let's try another one. Goddamn. Let's try the next one down. It might still be there, but if I got to search that long, I ain't trying to take forever. So let's do the next one down. Hit them up. Hit up their website, right? Stewart Indian School Cultural Center and Museum. Huh. Wasn't expecting for that. But let's see. Walking trail about us. This don't even look like a historic photo world. Boy, this is making me look like a damn liar right now. Let me do this one. I know this one that should have it. Oklahoma Native American Museum. All right, this is theirs. This because this one just opened, like some years back, not that fella. Dude, there's virtual walkthroughs. It should be like easy to get to, but visiting no exhibitions, Oklahoma. This is wild because I did it on my what you call it, but I'm gonna tell you like right now. Let's just say this was. Let's just say they did remove, which I doubt they did. I just probably got to really look. Let's say they did remove the the ability to do the virtual tours. Your next bet is to do this. YouTube. Because there's always somebody that wants to give you a tour of something. Smithsonian American Full Tour, 4K. Now you think you can hide from me, bitch? You can't hide from me. Trying to make it seem like I can't find. All right, now what's in that museum? All right, let's see what's in the museum. There's a wall with some headdresses or something going on, some fans and feathers, an axe. Okay. We got a We got some, what do you call them, little sashes? Little sashes. They threw them in there. All right. Let's see if we can we find any paintings or depictions or anything? We got a drum. Okay, we got a funny looking pole. Okay. Six Nations. That's funny. I just was reading about the Six Nations in the newspapers. Some more sashes, some mask. Okay. Some drawings that are modern of Indians, like people drew in 2000 or something. Okay. All right. All right. Do we see any other? We got a shirt. We got a shirt. Okay. Some feather headdress. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Not. I don't think another axe and a smoke pipe. Okay. This is historic. This is top shit right here. Okay. We got the flags. I don't know. Flags made in recent times. All them goddamn fake ass flags. We have a Confederate uniform or something. Uh, Never give up. Photographs. That's not that old, right? All right. Some more photographs in color. We got an auditorium. Oh, we got a boat. We got a canoe. We got a canoe. And that was it. That was it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're not gonna find. I don't know what you was expecting, but look, we're gonna go to one more, and you can go to every single. Let's do the Oklahoma one. Oklahoma Native American Museum tour. Let's see. First American Museum, Discover Oklahoma. I'm probably gonna have to put first a tour of the first American Museum, Oklahoma. Here we go. All right, we got Miss Piggy right here about to show us. Ma'am, don't put yourself on camera no more. That is scary. All right. Let's see. We're inside. We have walls. That's what she said. Uh we have a interactive display. Look like it's a game of Atari, an Atari game or something. I don't know what's going on there. All right. We have some pottery and some baskets, a sash, picking up where we left off in New York. Okay. Martin Wall Weidsmuller, whatever. Okay, we have photographs. Okay, let's see what we got. Well, who's on the photograph? Uh-oh. Come back to life. There you go. Who's on the photographs now? It's gonna be a first American, apparently. Oh, there it is. There they go. From them 1900s books. I've read those books. I've seen those. Yeah, that's not too old. Yeah, and here's some more of not too old drawings from the 1900s books. I think maybe late 1800s is the latest you can probably find some of the books. There goes some more. There's a fire pit. Why is this here? And we got the outfit that we don't wear because we don't really do those things like that typically. Because typically when they seen us, when they depicted us, a lot of times it was over one shoulder. We had a cotton mantle over one shoulder, like a toga. But again, I'm just showing y'all. Look, they don't have anything in these museums. They do not have anything in these museums. Here's a map. It's not an old map. We just kind of threw a map out here. Here's everybody at the powwow recently. Like what the fuck? A fucking drum, a fucking pair of boots, a fucking sash, some fucking boots. I told y'all, man, they don't have anything. No skeletons, except for a buffalo head. No skeletons, no depiction. But there is artwork. Look at that dumb shit. Hold on. What the hell? Child shoes. 1880s. Not that old now. Y'all know there's probably many of us that have family members that got shit sitting up in their closet from the 1800s from their grandmas and shit. Do you think something from the 1880s is worthy to go in a goddamn museum to talk about an ancient people? Children as young as age 2 were taken from their families and placed in Haskell Institute. And so you bring a pair of shoes for that? What? I, do these look like Indians? Or do they look like Ellis Island babies? Do they look like Indians? Does that look like an Indian? Come on now. Somebody said orphan. I just looked down. Somebody said orphans, right? Say, yeah, that's typical of Native American museums. A bunch of pictures. Exactly. There is nothing real. That's all. What's up, lineage business? There's nothing real in these things. A pair of shoes, the discovery of oil and its impacts, newspaper articles from the Indian reorganization. Why did they just have a pair of vans? Hold on, man. Let me go back to that shit. Let's see. It should pull up. What the fuck is this? Painted Vans 2020. If I just spent my goddamn time getting out of my motherfucking house, and let's say I had, if it was back in the days and my kids was young, still kids, they're not adults, and I get my kids ready and shit, telling them all this shit, we about to go down and really learn some good history. And I see a pair of 2020 fucking painted ass Vans in a motherfucking case. I'm gonna be ready to cuss a motherfucker out at the front desk. Who the hell opened this place up? What was the budget for this bitch? Let's actually, you know what? Let's look at that. How much was the budget for the first Americans museum in Oklahoma? And you put some vans in there? 175 mil to house some vans? What's wrong with these folks? Talk about a waste of money and time. These niggas got some vans painted by, and who y'all know who painted them? It's probably some fake ass native on these online one of these motherfuckers live streams right now. Yeah, bro. They got my vans in there, bro. I'm indigenous. The fuck? How did this even get put up? Like, who was the nigga that came up with the vans and presented those? as something to put in the museum. Yeah, I would like to present my vans. They have our indigenous tribal designs that I've personally inscribed to them. I feel that they are museum worthy as they demonstrate uh continuity. Continuity of culture. So your people was wearing vans back then? God, God damn, dude. Think about that. $175 million, y'all. And this is the type of shit you get. Who thought about making a fake ass paper van and putting for what? What does a van got to do with the Indians? A van? I just got through looking at a pair of vans. Now you show a nigga a van? Y'all playing games. Here's a pair of vans. Also, here's a van with some shit in it. None of this shit was around, nigga. The fuck is this? God damn. What the hell, man? What the goddamn hell? Look, this is one of the only sculptures these niggas got. Some modern ass. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What kind of Chinese hoe is that? How you make the eyes that slanted and still not know? You didn't think this was Chinese either when you was making this bullshit? Yeah, you need to make the eyes a little bit more chinky. And the face a little more flat. Oh my God. $175 million. And here's the books you can go in there and get. All modern. Open to the public. Mm. Yeah, man. Y'all say they making it up as they go. A pack of Marlboros is going to appear up there. They just gonna have one half smoking cigarette in a glass case. Oh my god, dude. This is what they do, man. This is why we gotta get on their ass, man. This is why we gotta get this shit back going, man. Cause these niggas is wasting millions of dollars on bullshit. And then not only to think about, you said that's pathetic. They need to be out of there for real. And not only to think about it like this, like a lot of these folks, there's a lot of people that work there that get paid throughout the year. So you use $175 million of taxpayer money, whatever, to build the shit, and then that helps to furnish you jobs for people who likely get jobs through the BIA that get to work up there. YT folks or other folks claim to be Indians, and now they got a full-time job. Yes, I am the museum director. I am responsible for the pair of vans that you've seen in that glass case. It was personally picked out because I felt that it was a perfect centerpiece to showcase Native American heritage, continuity of culture. Yeah, the idiocy that goes on, man. So you said they're making a unaliving with that indoor water park and resort, making a unaliving indoor water park resort. I don't know which one. What indoor water park resort you talking about? To the pack of Seneca cigarettes in a glass case. All fraudulent people promoting fraudulent artifacts. Where they moccasins at? Yeah, right. You know where they? I didn't even think about that. They had no kind of moccasins. It's called Okana. Oh, it's Okana. It's a museum. Okana. Oh, O'Connor Resort, OKC. Oh, that water resort. No, wait a minute. Is that over there like by downtown? I knew they had a whole bunch of shit, you know what I'm saying, by that downtown. I didn't know they had some O'Connor thing going on down there. Uh yeah, that's wild. Oklahoma needs some shit, but not the way they doing it. Said where the arrowheads at. They had one. They had one or two arrowheads in a glass case. They did have some pearls in there at the other museum. Like the pearls is gonna be the only authentic thing you probably gonna see, and maybe an arrowhead in that bitch. Said it's on the eastern off arena. Oh, really? Damn, they put it over there? That's wild. Ain't that over there like damn near where the old Paris flea market? And why is it old Paris? What does old Paris got to do with Oklahoma? I don't know. That's. Nay, I've been gone a while. Then I'm gonna check it out in July. Yeah, no, it's I ain't even know about it. Right on the river. Oh well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, the river does extend down that far. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, it'd probably be around. Yeah, yeah, Petro's around there by the old Paris and all that. I'm thinking that's about right there. Yep, yep. Old Paris. Boy, next time I go down there, I need to hit up the old Paris flea market. It ain't gonna be shit in that bitch I'ma buy. It ain't gonna be a goddamn thing in there I'ma buy. Maybe some popcorn. Uh and I'm trying to think. They got the little bullshit jury, the little bullshit car audio, little bullshit, little photos. Y'all remember the little glass mirror like paint photos or painting? It was like a painting, but it lit up and shit. Niggas thought they was the shit when you walked in the house and that motherfucker acted like it was had the little water was supposed to be rolling and shit, had a little noise and shit. I see you in here, nigga. You getting luxury on me. Nigga getting luxury on them. But yeah, okay, man. That was all I got, man. I wanted to just really y'all deserved a live stream from me. I just felt like I haven't been live in a while because I was working heavily on the documentary, and I'm still be working heavily on these documentaries. And that's because, man, like there's always got to be steps to everything. Like I've done all this studying, which I still got a lot more studying to do. It ain't like I know everything, right? I just know a lot about the certain things that I've been studying, and it would be pointless to just only have those 10-minute videos in random spots like I have them. Like all of this has to go into multiple documentaries so that way I have a library of them hoes, and then eventually I'll start submitting them to some of these online places to get them up there. Found out it's about 500 a submission through Film Hub. There was another one, but it was pretty much around the same price. There was like $1,000 for the yearly subscription, and that would only get you one QC per year. But each QC, a quality control, you got to basically pay for somebody to watch your film, and make sure they ain't got no errors. Make sure you got all the right formats. Make sure you got all the artwork, all this other stuff, whatever. It's kind of annoying because back in the day, you used to be able to just submit all that shit, but I guess they always had to. I guess they was paying somebody to go through it because somebody would send that shit back. It probably wasn't an automated thing back then. Somebody would send it back after a while. So whatever. I mean, somebody got to get paid. Whatever. But either way, it's got to be a progression because everybody's not gonna always go back and watch my 10-minute videos. They're only gonna watch the latest videos. In many cases, people that find me that's new, they're gonna watch the latest. I could go through and just like repost my old videos and kind of keep my page fresh, but I'm not really. I don't know, man. I'm just not big because I'm not big on trying to do things to I don't want to call it clout chase, but just to do it just to get followers. Like I try to, and it could work too, because I would look at some of my old videos that had like 6,000 plus views or something, and those would be the ones I would repost. And when I repost them, I would get thousands of views off of them as well. Some not all the time, but many times. It just shows that it still has the same kind of pull that it had before. But I don't want to be that nigga that's out here just reusing videos because whatever. Now I can still come up with new videos, which is kind of like today, like I did my study. Every time I do these documentaries, I go back and I restudy on the topics that I had already studied on. I also have a fresh mind from since the time that I was studying on them. So I get to come at it a lot more clear. Things are different, things are new. I can, correlate things that I found since then, whatever. But basically getting them all on to documentary format, because when people watch a full documentary, they really do get it. The 10-minute videos, you get it, but you get a taste of what I'm trying to give you. So you'll know about what I've said about the Geechees here and there, and you can, kind of put it together. But when you watch it all the way from start to end and you get that full story, then when you go out into the world, you confidently know what to tell people. When somebody brings up, well, like right now, for all of y'all that you said hire a content manager, Sam. I know, man, I need to one day when I have enough bread for that. Well, that would be a cool thing. Um, but like a lot of y'all, like now, a lot of y'all that's watched the Dred Scott documentary, can't nobody tell y'all shit. Can't nobody tell you a fucking lie. And you can tell them many things on the pod. Man, that motherfucking case was made up. What? That was made up. How you gonna say the case? Man, that motherfucker made up. Go look in them newspapers. Not only was it made up, you don't even know the Scots was Indians. And then on top of that, the nigga wasn't even suing. If the case was even made up, the nigga was suing because he was trying to kidnap him. The nigga was never no slave. Y'all over here talking about that slave shit. You can easily wrap that off and be confident about it because you've seen the sources. You've seen and read them yourself. Even though I read them on the screen, you technically read them because you heard it. You ingested that. You know what I'm saying? And so, and I appreciate y'all too. All of y'all that watched. I really appreciate that. That definitely means a lot to me. And that's where I'm going with all of this. Like, I'll still be able to do my 10-minute videos because every time I do a new documentary, there's going to be new things I find, and I'm going to make videos off of that, and I'm going to do my live streams. I don't want to disappoint y'all and not do the live streams because this is what y'all love me for too. You know what I mean? I will say this, I want y'all to love my information more so than I want you to love me. You know what I mean? Like, everything I do is about this information. I want you to remember everything that I done shown, not just what I said, everything I've shown. I want you to take what I've shown, my receipts, and slap somebody in the face with it. All my receipts. I don't give a damn. I'm not one of them people that get mad because people took my receipts. I don't get mad if people use my topics either. Like, I ain't gonna say no names because I love folks. You know what I'm saying? But like, somebody very prominent in the YouTube world all of a sudden excuse me, all of a sudden did a video about the Dred Scott case or about Dred Scott. And then somebody had told me about it. And so I went and listened to it. And I looked at the time, it was like 2 months ago. And I was like, this was before my documentary for sure, but I had been promoting that I was going to be doing a documentary for quite some time and have been doing a lot of, Dred Scott videos. And so they was just like, oh, yeah, somebody just told me that I should do a Dred Scott video. So I said, okay. I was just like, okay, ain't nobody thinking about Dred Scott. Like, the only reason why even I thought about Dred Scott is because I was searching. Most of the time when you hear people talk about Dred Scott right now, it's about the whole birthright citizenship. And really, they just saying that because you see it on the news. You know what I'm saying? But me, I was going into back then, I was going into studies on slavery. And I have a documentary eventually I want to do, about the slavery propaganda and like disproving that bullshit, telling the truth and the facts and the nuances. But that led me to the 1860 slave codes because I was looking for slave codes for each state, but there was an 1860 federal slave code, and that's what led me to that. Getting into that, that's what led me to the line that said, "If you're not an African, blah 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 blah, you ain't a citizen," and it's quoted the Dred Scott case, and that's what got me on the Dred Scott case. So if can't nobody tell you like a good backstory on how they really got into something, like, oh, somebody just said this, I'm gonna yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying. But do you know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping. get your content in. But I only say that because it's a pretty prominent channel, a lot of followers and stuff like that. But I'm not looking for any accolades or anything like that. I do look at it more as a form of flattery, to be honest. I ain't got a problem with it that they did it. I'm it actually flatters me. Excuse me. Because I really like the fact that people fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? Fuck with the information that I put out. You know what I mean? And that means more to me than anything else. And for anybody to take anything that I do or decide to get on any topic because I'm on it, whatever, man, more power to you. You know what I'm saying? On the smaller channels, I definitely wouldn't have a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a small channel too, but I still wouldn't have a problem. But it's just one of those things to me though. I want to hold people with larger channels a little bit more accountable because you could help a smaller channel. You know what I'm saying? Technically, man, my light is bright. Whatever. Technically, you have the power to toss out a word or two, and it does help. First of all, I want to say this to y'all: your shares help me a lot. Please share. If anything, if there's anything I want you to do is share. Because it spreads the word. When my videos stop at a certain level, I just know it's because it didn't get shared as much. The algorithm is only going to push me so far. And I always tell myself, I've only been pushed as far as I've been pushed, not because of the algorithm and not because of what I said, it's because of y'all. All of y'all that share. Y'all really fuck with what I say, and y'all be like, man, I gotta share this shit, and I love that. And I'm only where I'm at because of that. And I can see the fruits from that when it happens. So I do appreciate it, and I see the fruits from it when it happens from a big channel. When a big channel does share, and the big channel I was talking about, so y'all know, was on YouTube, not anybody on TikTok. So you know that I wasn't talking about anybody on TikTok, but like they do have the power to try to be able to help. And when I get to a big status one day, that would be me. Like I'm definitely gonna be reaching down and recommending smaller channels to people, to my folks. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with that. But I also ain't got a problem if they don't do it at all. Oh well, all right. If you don't, whatever. I know what I'm on. You know what I'm saying, and my path. And my path is to really, it is to educate as many people as possible, because that's the only way we're gonna get to the next level. We got to get people on a very similar page with the information, because everybody is on a similar page with the old history. You know what I'm saying? And that, it's not like we can't get them on our page, but it's gonna be harder because they have control of the schools, blah 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 blah. It's like we got to deprogram everybody after the fact, and it sucks because if we had the schools, if we had the control, and we had control over the curriculum, we can change the narrative a lot quicker. But we got to change it one at a time. You know what I'm saying? One project at a time, one live stream at a time, one whatever at a time. You know what I mean? So my bad, I've been looking over this way, just kind of going in and ranting. I'm gonna go up a little bit, see what y'all been saying. I think y'all just kind of tossing out the west side, said locked in 6 hours. It's crazy. Locked up only 6 hours. It's crazy. No, that's real talk, Swarthy. uh Facts. Yeah, I've been seeing people use your topics. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Nikki. Staying on top of it. Said, ain't that suspicious? You go much deeper. I appreciate that. That's what she said. You know, I had to throw that in there. Once, I don't know why it always, like, I'll say that's what she says, and I'll try to like continue like going into whatever I was gonna say, and I still end up laughing. Share it on social media, websites too. Appreciate that. I share most times, and also Watch. No, I definitely see your shares, and I definitely always appreciate that. Always appreciate that love, nigga. Peace and good evening. What's up, Gia? Said we need it for sure, for sure. Start with the kids. That's where we at with it, man. So yeah, said got me over here dropping my nuggets. Said, bro, but we a ethno mimimists. Man, you know what I'm saying? And that's because that's another documentary I got to get on next. I just got to go visit people, but I gotta do the Roots documentary, that We Are Who We Were, and as well, I still got to come down. Nikki's supposed to be in one of my docs about the Love family, so I got a lot of work to really do. But it's gonna be a lot of catalog. Like I'm not playing games. Like literally, I like before this. I stopped. I think I was done with my last appointment around 3:30. And I probably got home about 3:30. And as soon as I got home, showered up, I went to the newspaper hunting. And but I mean, to be honest, every morning that's what I do too. But also when I get off work, get off from working and shit, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm doing. I'm in the researches. You know what I'm saying? I done already came up with an outline of the topics I'm gonna do with the Geechee. And I love about, like, I'm pretty efficient with this shit. That's what I want y'all to see. I'm pretty efficient with like creating these projects. Like and especially the more I do them, I get like my formula down pat. So like now, all I do, I literally like freestyle a lot. Like I sit down in a chair, I get my whole interview set up, which takes forever. But once I get my chair light and everything the way I want it, I got my one line little topics. I'll even show you real quick right here. Geechee Doc, my Geechee Doc. And these are just little one lines that are to trigger me to talk about this. Hey, this one says, what is a primary source and why is it important? So this with this Geechee Doc, multiple times in there, I thought about, I'm gonna make sure people remember what a primary source is and how important it is on the Geechee Doc, because we're gonna have to keep referencing why the older is not what the newer is. Why are they saying Lucas Vasquez de Alian was bringing in some Africans, but the old shit didn't? You know, it's going to be a lot of, not a lot, but some of that. So, you know, I'm gonna talk about primary sources, or like I said, Spanish explorers never went to Africa. So, like, literally, I'll sit here and I'll look at that Spanish explorers never went to Africa, and I'll be like, all right, bet. So, yeah. And you know, I'm looking at the camera now, but then I turn this way. You're right. Find me a point to look at. um, and I just go from my head. You know what I'm saying? So if I was talking about, let's say like this, Chicora, Columbus, Alian, Francisco. So I would say Chicora is no people. A lot of people don't know that Chicora was the name of South Carolina. In fact, when you look at a lot of the old documents, it'll tell you that Christopher Columbus was one of the first people that pulled up to the Bahamas, to the Lucayan. I would do that over. Christopher Columbus was the person to pull up to the Lucayans, and when he pulled up there, he said he saw Chicorans as well as people from Florida, the Yucatan, and everybody kicking it there in the Lucayans, so in the Bahamas. So as we've known, the Chicoras, or the land of the area called Chicora, has been called that since before anybody had been known to go there. But as you can see, I would just do that. You know what I'm saying? And because it's like some people have to write the whole, like, type down the full fucking script. That's not me. Even when I did my voiceovers, first I do my talk in the screen shit, and I'll do all of these things or whatever, all these topics, and then I go through and I'll make my timeline on my Final Cut Pro. I'll make my timeline and move all my interviews where they need to go. Then I layer all my sources out, because once I've done that, now I have the timeline. Now I put my sources everywhere where the timeline is gonna go, and I still don't have them in the exact right order, but I at least put them where they match each one of these particular points. And then right after that, I go up to my office, and I get on the good mic. This mic is decent, but it's not as good as my other mics and shit up there. And so and I do my voiceovers. I play it, And there's me not talking in the screen and there's sources, then I'm gonna start talking about it right there. And yeah, and you're blah blah blah, so such and such, right? So it's a different vibe, you know what I'm saying? But now I can. It took me like 3 hours to do my voiceovers, and I ain't gonna lie, that's tiring. But in my interview only took me, it probably took around the same time, 3 4 hours or whatever. And then stacking my sources took me some days. That took a day or two, because it's a lot of dragging the sources in, finding where to put them, organizing whatever, and then you still don't know how much time between whatever. But it ain't gonna take me long. I'm just saying, your boy, because your boy been doing this. It's like one of them things. Like think about me. Like if I was to go and speak to a school, I don't need to write this shit down. You ain't gonna see me looking down the whole time. Whoops. You ain't gonna see me looking down the whole time. Yes, and we very very much so appreciate all of our people for coming here today about the Geechee Doc. The Geechee documentary is one of very much so importance to the people. We're gonna talk a little bit more about the like that's not me. In fact, I can sit here. Y'all already know me. I know this information, and that's the difference. Whenever you watching somebody on TV or something too, like a government official, whatever. Like, look, if you got to read it off the paper, I don't know who wrote that shit for you. In my opinion, especially government politicians. Uh, I mean, especially politicians. Like I feel like most of them don't know what the hell's going on. They doing whatever they do throughout the day, and then when they get to the goddamn the Capitol or whatever, and they on C-SPAN or whatever, and they in front of everybody, somebody done handed them what they want them to say today, and then they just start reading the shit versus me and a lot of us, we can sit here and just rat the shit off to you off the top of our head. Now we still want to show you because we don't want to just be the people to just be known and just be saying stuff by our words. We got to show you that. But I'm just saying that all to say that's how knowledgeable we are, man. We could just easily, many of y'all, we could just easily rat this shit off our head and tell you about it. And that makes doing these documentaries that much easier. So I'm gonna be a beast when it comes to it. I'm gonna make way more documentaries than a lot of these folks, like Tariq and a lot of these other folks. I'm gonna make way more than what they got on. What's up, Tabitha? Said Nikki said you have a great memory, and if you do forget, you can easily get back there. I know, and ain't that crazy? As much as your boy be on it, you know what I'm saying? It do not stop me. That's why I don't even care if people try to ridicule me a little bit for the smoking and stuff. Like, oh, you be smoking and you be slurring your words and blah. Look, man, the stuff that's in this brain right here and inside of this motherfucking iPad, look, cocaine couldn't get it out of me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't do none of that. I don't, more power to y'all that do, but I don't. I can't do the powders and all that. Yeah, I can't do all that. Appreciate that, Amore. Appreciate that. So, but yeah, I'm about to get off. I done drug y'all out for another 30 minutes, just kind of going on tangents. But I'm gonna get off of here, man. I appreciate y'all. I'll be back. It is a busy season for me. Like springtime can be busy, but sometimes I can have off times. I I gotta be honest. I'm probably not gonna make it out to the Yamasee Green Corn Festival this weekend. Yeah, it's I ain't gonna lie. Your boy had a. I don't even want to get into it. I'm probably not gonna make it out there, but I'm still gonna do the Yamasee documentary, and I still might go down there. I'm either gonna do one of two things. I'm gonna either hire somebody up there to do the interview for me, and I'm gonna have to either have the questions or have Sekou do whatever questions he wants, or I'm gonna fly a little out there a little bit later this month. uh, it just kind of depends on how all things go. I don't want to get into the details, but I'm definitely gonna still be doing a documentary. I wanted to go to that Green Corn Festival, but no, I'll make it down there sometime. We'll make it happen. Said it's essential to your footage. You need cash apps. He posted that it was canceled. I didn't even know that. See, I guess yeah, I appreciate that too, Lena's business. You saying that when you come back, can I ask you a question, brother? Uh, when I come back, yeah, you hit me up. Yeah, I didn't know it was canceled. Dang. So I get Imagine had I, dude, I ain't gonna lie, cause I was really on the fence. Cause I ain't gonna lie, it really was. Yeah, like it was gonna cost me over two K. Cause even if I drove, I was gonna do the road trip thing, but then I was gonna stop in multiple cities. You talking about getting stays in the cities and all each city each night. That's gonna rack up. Uh, then there was the flight. Now the flight there and back was pretty expensive, but then there was flights for cheap flights to Atlanta through Spirit, right? 150 something like that. But then the whole Spirit shit happened. And I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, you know what, man, let me just say fuck it. I could probably go ahead and just do the Spirit thing. I was gonna fly to Atlanta, rent a car from Atlanta, drive 4 or 5 hours to South Carolina, so it'd be a little bit cheaper, and then be there for like 2 days and then fly back. But then I went and looked. Spirit Airlines is now no longer around right now, and now all the tickets that you can find for it is around four or five, or about $500-600. So I was like, okay, I still might, but you talk about 500-600 for that to get to Atlanta, another 300-400-500 for the rental for a couple of days, plus the gas, whatever, about 300-400 for the rental. Plus the stays there, whatever. It was gonna be a little penny. And I had those pennies saved up. I ain't even gonna lie to you. But there's something called rainy season in Dallas where my car detail business doesn't do as great as I want it to do. You know what I'm saying? So uh I was still gonna make it. I wasn't gonna have as much, but I was still gonna make it, to be honest to you. I was thinking about still making it. I would have been like pushing my limits because I had put a lot into this podcast studio here recently because we upgraded to 4K. But that's a whole nother story. But long story short, that's why I was like, I'm on the fence because I didn't really, I don't like to go nowhere and not be really secure and have the amount that I should have. So either way, it looks like that shit was canceled. So had I had bought, because I ain't even gonna lie, I was thinking about grabbing one of those not Frontier. Frontier wasn't even going on. I was thinking about getting one of those from us. What's that one? Southwest. Southwest had one for 600, and I was still gonna push it and just really, really push it. But but I'm glad I didn't because literally, when I say I was going to, like, I was thinking about it earlier this morning because I only got a few more days, and I was thinking about it this morning, and I was like, I don't know, man, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna come out and tell folks, man, that I'm probably not gonna make it out there. But you said book early, direct Charleston to Myrtle Beach, 350 right round trip. Yeah, if you book, and that's me kicking myself in the head because when I looked up the trip months ago, it was cheaper. But to be honest, I guess it was all for the better, man. Because if I would have bought my ticket months ago, it would have been canceled, right? So I still would have been going out there to get the interview, which I can still do that. But now I don't feel bad as much because I still wanted to be there for the festival. Uh, so I don't feel as bad about that, but I'm still gonna make this Yamasee thing happen. We're still gonna make it happen. I'm about to get off here. My voice is getting said Fox rental cars, waves deposit when using Amex. I do have an Amex. I do have an Amex, and I never heard of Fox rental. Said that equipment was going to whip your tail with Spirit. Yeah, that was another thing. Yeah, to haul my equipment because I got my lighting, my whatever. It's gonna be some bags as well. So, but we're gonna make these docs happen. That's why I'm like, in the meantime, I'm gonna do a lot of documentaries that I can do that doesn't cost any money because I already got all the equipment. Uh, I'm gonna do as many of those as possible, and then we'll move to the bigger ones. But yeah, man, I'm gonna get off here. Voice is getting low. But I appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all to the fullest, and I'll be back next time. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, I didn't see you over here, YouTube. Hold on, hold on. Let me get up in the chat. It's Lioness, this, Ashay. What's happening? That was my very first time seeing your. This is my very first time seeing your channel, and I decided to click the channel because the algorithm sent it down the feed. That's what's up. I am a government official coordinator. That's what's up. I be among some of the most powerful heads of state. I just got back from ATL about a week ago. That's what's up, man. Well, stick around. Your boy be on here doing his thing. Appreciate all of y'all. I missed a lot, didn't I? My bad, y'all. Our museum would be lit in American Indians. Y'all was talking to me museums and stuff. So yeah. My bad, man. I missed a lot of y'all's comments. I'm sure y'all was going back and forth though, man. Appreciate y'all too, man. Love y'all. Enjoy y'all.